Hi, I'm Teresa from Phoenix Gate Crafts, and today I'm going to sew a tag onto the inside of this sweater. So this sweater is made from wool, and as such it should not go in the washing machine. And also as such, me doing that felted it just a teeny tiny bit. It's just about a size smaller, so it fits perfectly instead of being slightly too large. So I don't want to do that again. So I had some custom tags made. And as you can see, I said to hand wash it. I really like this company, Ever Emblem. They are on Etsy. If I remember, I will post a link in the description box to their Etsy page. But as you can see, www.everemblem.com, and they will make custom tags for you. I actually have another set of custom tags that say back, so that my machine washable ones, I know which way's back, because sometimes it does matter back or front. This sweater does not matter back or front, so I'm going to pick this one right here to be the back. So because this is knit, I'm not going to be sewing this tag on with a machine. That would create a funky little line right here with the stitches that are pulling it down, and I don't have purple regular thread. I have purple embroidery floss. So I'm doing this by hand, and there's some special little tricks that you can do if you're doing this by hand. So first of all, floss. I have embroidery floss. Now it's a little tricky because I don't know if this is bringing it up, but you can see that this isn't just purple. It's got shades of blues, shades of pink. This is very heathered. So what color should I pick? Well, whatever one kind of looks like the aggregate is probably best, but you could choose any shade in that. So all I'm going to do, I have some purples here, is I'm going to pull some out that I think are going to look pretty decent. And I'm going to hold them up next to it. Now I don't have any perfect. Oh, that'll definitely not be it though. So these two, I think they're the same color. So we will do this one since it's partially used. I'm going to peel off 2 strands because it is typical DMC 6-stranded floss. And I am going to thread up a sharp needle. And I'm going to do that off camera because I don't feel you need to see me struggle with that. But before we do that, we need to prepare this tag. Now, you see, as it is, this tag is going to fray. It's already partially frayed, and this is a satin thing, which means, well, basically, this is the same stuff they use for point shoes for ballerinas. So I'm going to do the ballerina trick so that nothing frays. I could use Fray Check, which is a glue that you just put a little line on either end, but then you have to let it dry, and where you put the glue doesn't necessarily allow you to pierce it very well. And I need to sew this sucker on. So I'm going to light a candle. And here's hoping this works. I mean, the candle works. It's been a long time since I made it. So all you do is you get close. So I'm going to do this real quick because this is really flaring. It's at the bottom of the candle. And you get close, but you don't touch the flame. You just want it to touch the heat. And it will melt. Ta-da! Melted. That's a little hot to start with, but that is okay. It's very firm, and a little bit charred. I think that's more an issue with this candle, but you want to make sure that it's melted all the way across. There we go. And you do that for the bottom as well, because otherwise this end will fray. You're just doing it enough to melt the finish. Whoop. A little too much into it, but that is a-okay. It just means that it didn't melt evenly. See, a little melty, a little too melty on the inside. I left it in the heat too long. And now we can fold it in half, and we're not going to get any fraying. If I want to, I could cut it closer, but I do want to have a little bit of space where I can actually sew. Happy birthday! Never leave a candle burning. So now I have it, and I have it folded. All right, I've got this threaded, and I am going to tie a knot in the bottom because that's actually how I'm going to hold one end secure. It doesn't have to be the biggest knot because I'm going to do a technique that'll just kind of hold it in place. So you can actually cut the tails off pretty close to the knot. So I'm going to get this as centered as I can. Now here's the tricky part, keeping this in frame. I will totally have trouble. Now, typically when you do real sewing, like with the machine kind of sewing garments, what you'll do is you'll actually tuck this up into the open edge of your hem, and then you'll fold it over, and then you'll sew your hem right here. But I'm not doing that. I do shit lazy like. So here's hoping I don't get my head in the way. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to get just a little piece of a stitch. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in between my threads, right by the knot. 2 on each side. It really doesn't matter. And now that is secure. It's not going to come out through there. And try to center it. It's okay if you don't start off perfectly centered. You can get it there and just kind of go splitting your yarn over to it. It'd be perfect if I'd actually done this underneath where I wanted it, but this looks a little bit more centered. I don't care about aesthetics. I really care about getting this sucker on there so I don't friggin' screw it up. And then I just sew it on. Trying to split the yarn, but it's okay if that doesn't work. But the thing you do have to do is you have to get through both layers. That's the real trick. And now this is going to be janky as fuck, but it's on. Now if you really want to, you could do a fancy embroidery stitch of some kind, like a mattress stitch or anything. Trying to make your stitches as even as possible. I don't care that much. My key is that this is on. You can choose a fancier stitch than I am. That's probably legit. You could do it so that it, instead of being just this simple whip stitch, it fully covers satin stitch, I believe that's called. Now, you'll notice that I am like right in this corner, and I'm going to come up one more time from the side. That's going to keep the tag pointed down and hopefully not be nearly as itchy. And now that is secured. Like, you can tug on this, it ain't coming off. And it doesn't matter that this isn't machine washable, this thread is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and go right in, right there. So now I'm in this little section right here, and I'm going to knot. Now, knotting is a little bit more important if you are going to be machine washing, which I am not, but I still like to have a couple little stitches. And then here's the cool thing. Sew it in between your layers. It doesn't have to go all the way across, it just has to be kind of tight. And then snip close. And here's the impressive part, or the important part, not really visible on the other side. And now I have a visual reminder to not frickin' machine wash this one. And because I was not smooth with my initial placement, I'm going to cut close to that knot. Should have used the better scissors. And it is done. And now I have a nice janky looking thing. Now if you were better at hand sewing than I am, this would look better. But you know what? I'm just happy it's on there. And if you wanted to do it properly, you actually could machine sew it with the two edges tucked inside between each other, sew it on, and then sew it. But you know what? I'm cool with janky because I friggin' handmade this thing, and this is for me. So anyway, I hope you found this helpful. Please get Ever Emblem a look if you really want nice custom-made tags, and happy crafting!